Well, Rebecca Zimmerman is a policy researcher with the RAND Corporation and joins us now from Washington, D.C. to talk further about the Taliban's actions in Kunduz. Great to have you with us, Ms. Zimmerman. Now, a similar situation developed about a year ago and the US troops assisted in driving out the Taliban. Is it likely to be the same this time, and are lives likely to be lost in the process?
I think it is likely to be the same this time. The U.S. command in Kabul has said that they plan to send enablers and other assistance to the north, to Kunduz. And I think this time we can expect it'll happen pretty rapidly, pretty decisively, so that there's nothing like there was last time, where there was a period of a number of days where the Taliban were really in control in the city. I think they'd like to avoid that. As for casualties, they don't seem to have penetrated as far into the city this time. They don't seem to have a firm grip on the city, which means hopefully they can be gotten back out of the city without loss of life.
Well, certainly what you're telling us, Ms. Zimmerman, does appear to be good news, but the Taliban has certainly been gaining momentum in certainly the last 6 months or so, multiple attacks on Afghan military and police in Kabul. I'm wondering, how much do you think that the US is responsible for this? Because they assassinated the previous head of the Afghan Taliban, Mullah Mansour, who was quite open to peace talks, and then the Taliban replaced him with a far more radical Mullah Akhundzada. Was it a mistake?
Well, I think it's quite a stretch. I think it's quite a stretch to say that Mullah Mansour was open to peace talks. In fact, he'd said no peace talks until the U.S. is completely out of Afghanistan, until all foreign forces are out of Afghanistan. It can be interpreted now, I think, maybe as being less of a hardliner than Akhundzada, but it's by no means sure that we would be in peace talks now if that had happened. I think it's wildly unlikely. But I think what we're seeing now is more the continuation of activities that have been happening in Kunduz and the north for several years. You remember a year ago when they actually attacked Kunduz city, that came upon at the end of probably a year where they could have attacked at any point in time and taken the city successfully. While Afghan and international forces managed to get them out of Kunduz, we didn't successfully restore governance, restore services, restore rule of law to the town and to the province. And so for many months now, the Taliban have surrounded Kunduz, have taken control of key districts outside of Kunduz. So it's not necessarily linked to leadership succession, but more to a lengthy pattern of Taliban control in the north.
Rebecca Zimmerman, this is a very complex issue and you've been able to simplify it for us, so thank you so much for that, Rebecca Zimmerman in Washington, D.C.